Please, just say something again. Say anything again.
Hey man,
So,
what are you doing?
the sky, it just spoke to me.
It spoke to you.
It just spoke to me.
What? Like, are you speaking to Jesus or something?
No, I'm not speaking to Jesus. I'm not speaking to God. I'm speaking to the sky. The sky said something to me.
Dude, the sky does not talk. What are you on about?
What do you mean the sky doesn't talk? The sky just talked.
Well, what did it say then?
I don't know what it said, but the sky said something,
Alright.
and it was to me.
Alright.
Right?
Okay.
And now I'm just waiting for it to say something to me again.
Well, how long are you going to be here then?
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'll wait. Because the sky is speaking to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something I want to miss out on.
Yeah, it's speaking to you. Well, have fun with that, mate.
Alright, catch you later.
Alright, catch you.
Come on. What did you say? What did you say? Alright, so we're going to be looking at Said the Sky today, emotional, future-based artist, just a couple of things I want to say before we get into this video. The first thing is, this video is sponsored by the guys over at Oversampled. Now, they've just recently put out an awesome new plugin. It is called Punch. It's a multi-band transient shaper, a really powerful plugin, good for putting on your drums or any of your instruments. I'm going to get into what it does as a plugin a bit later on in my video in the drop section, so stick around to see that part. The guys at Oversampled have done something really cool for you guys. They've actually given me a 25% off discount code to give to you guys, so you can get 25% off your purchase. So the link will be in the description. The code is SAVID25, and I'll also put that in the description. This code will last till the end of September, so get in quick, go enjoy Punch. It's an awesome plugin. The second thing I wanted to mention is obviously, I'm not in my usual setup. The COVID has come back to the old Kiwi land and put us into lockdown again. So I had to move out of my normal place of living and got a bit of a temporary setup here. But it's all good. Still making videos, still making music. Can't really complain. Firstly, let's jump right into the intro sort of verse section. We're running at a slightly slower tempo, 140 BPM, still around that typical 150 future bassy tempo. It's a little bit slower so we can create some more feels, I started off the song by just getting an emotional guitar loop. This is pretty common in Said the Sky songs and in the emotional future bass genre. It's just sort of have a nice guitar to give us some vibes. So in this intro, I'm just trying to create a bit of atmosphere, a bit of vibes. So I just put down a Virtual Riot atmospheric sample. And some vinyl crackle. I also just took a snippet of my vocal, which will come up very soon, and I just put it into this intro section with lots of wet reverb and a bit of EQ, just so it's sort of like sitting in the background and just sort of creating a sound. And so all together you get a nice full atmospheric-y vibey sound. Moving through the intro a little bit more, I add a vocal. I went for a singer called Quasi. I probably butchered that name. He is featured on a few of Said the Sky's tracks, so I thought I should get an a cappella from him.
At first I thought I'd say, but something stopped me, got in my way. I love to sin.
We transition into a bit more of a full verse section with the vocals and some drums and some more ambience, as you can see here. In this section, I added a verse bass just to add some low frequencies, you know, fill it out a little bit more. What I also added is another atmospheric sample. So paired with the other one and the guitar, that just fills it out a lot more, and the bass, so we sort of have a full frequency spectrum when we add all these things together. So we're already moving into the build up here. For the first half of this build up, I just cut the drums, cut this other atmospheric sample, and just simply have the intro stuff playing again. Then we sort of transition into a bit of a build up, which again is really simple. It's just the same things. The bass comes back in from the verse and the second atmospheric sample. We have the rises and stuff transitioning us in there. All the things that are added to this build up is just some like build up drums. They're sounding still quite acoustic, so it sort of fits the genre and the style of the track. Have some rises in there as well. Last thing I'm doing in this build up is you'll see this busy section here. These are basically just my drop elements. I'm just filtering them in, so I have this vocal chop, this granular pattern, and I have this like vocal chord pattern sort thing, and some drop chords. Already moving into the drop here, let's look at the drums first, because the drums are really important in this song. So I've made a simple kick-in snare pattern. And then I've added a hi-hat to go along with that, just for a bit of top end. So the important thing here with our drums is this new plugin from Oversample that I mentioned called Punch. So you can see the kick is coming up on this visual section here. I've pulled the threshold down, so it's clipping off the top of the kick, the real like sort of loud sections, and it's just squashing it down. I'm just using a soft clip, so that's bringing in more boomph to the kick. What this plugin has is it has a transient slider, a length slider, and they're pretty self-explanatory. So if you pull that up, you're going to get more transients and like a harder hitting kick. If you pull it down, you're going to get a softer, more like smooth sort of kick. And then we have the length slider. It's going to make it longer or shorter, so you can really pull out the length of your kick, or you can shorten it down. What I'm running on this kick is the multi-band setting, so basically I can flick between lows, highs and mids and influence the transients, influence the length on the different frequencies of the kick drum. Other features we have is a bit of NYC, New York compression. Then we have some air, which is just gonna add a bit of top end sort of air, you know. And then we have the presence knob, which is again adding in some nice little white noise. There's also a large collection of presets that come with the plugin already, so if you have no idea what you want to do and you just want to do a bit of trial and error, just skip through the presets and have a ball. So I'm running Punch on my snare as well. With that on my snare, you can see that there's a whole lot of loud sound out there that I'm limiting and pushing in, so my snare is nice and compact. And also what that does is it's bringing these like smaller frequencies down here more closer to the top. It's just making my snare sound that much nicer, cleaner, thicker, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, Punch, super powerful plugin. Obviously I've just used it on my kick and snare. You can use it on whatever you want. So go on the link in the description, use my 25% off code SEVERED25, and yeah, enjoy Punch. So now that we have our perfect drums, we want to move on to the next part, and the next part is my drop bass. This drop bass is a simple little saw sub stack sort of thing. I'm just playing the exact same notes as I was in my verse bass. This time I just have 4 layers. They just consist of a few bass layers and a sub. The real magic is in the granular sort of stuff, the vocal and the chords. This granular is just playing on a Quanta plugin. This is actually playing the guitar loop from the intro, so I just chucked this into Quanta, see what it came out with. The results are pretty cool. I've automated the source position to jump between source positions on each chord. It's basically a granular chord progression of a guitar. The next layer of this drop melodics is vocal ambient sample. What this is it's just a cymatics tonal ambience. I've used this exact sample in songs before just to create ambience, but what I've done is I've pitch shifted, so this is obviously sounding like that. This one over here is a bit lower, this one over here also a bit higher, and so I've just sort of made a chord progression by just randomly chucking in some vocal ambient samples, and it came out really cool. It works well with the granular guitar as well. Another layer I added was just some generic drop chords, really like simple chord progression, 4 notes on each chord, and just using one super saw layer. And so if we put all of those melodics together, we get this big, thick, like vocal based, granular, unique sounding Said the Sky sound. Another important part of this whole like big melodic stack of layers is the LFO. So I've just gone and made a volume automation, and it just creates this cool pattern. So in those gaps, I just have this little drop pluck. So yeah, that's just a simple little Serum preset, playing a nice little bell pluck sound sort of thing, and some vocal chops, and they just come in the gaps of the chords and create a cool little sound. Some extra little things, extra little sprinkles of spice, if you will. Just have these little percussive hits in there that go along with the drums. I add back a little snippets of the vocals every now and then. In the second half of the drop, I just add some shakers, as you do, to just like give it a bit more energy and a bit more movement. Cannot forget this little ba-da-ding boy down here. And yeah, that is essentially all the elements that go into the Said the Sky drop. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make a Said the Sky style song, verse, drop sort of thing. Enjoy the rest of your day, or night, or morning, and enjoy the final result.
At first I thought I'd say, but something stopped me, got in my way. I love to sing, contemplate about the things I'll never say. Say to you, all these stories are right in my head. Now I'm worried, so I try to find a way to get to you, but I hesitate until it's 1 a.m. by myself with the mistakes I've made. It's 3 a.m. You're right there, but I'm still too afraid. Now I know that I'll be leaving on my own. Can I hit replay? Yeah, hit replay. It's 1 a.m. by myself with the mistakes I've made. It's 3 a.m. You're right there, but I'm still too afraid. Now I know that I'll be leaving on my own. Can I hit replay? Yeah, hit replay. Replay.